Hello again, friends. I'm Dustin Davis, ready to dive into what's new in Lions land. The Detroit Lions organization finds itself navigating a pivotal stretch of their campaign with high-stakes decisions unfolding both on and off the field. Front office choices about personnel depth and missed opportunities at the trade deadline have created layers of intrigue around a franchise that entered this year carrying championship expectations. Questions linger about whether the roster adjustments made and those left unmade will prove sufficient when the postseason pressure mounts. Internal evaluations continue as the coaching staff weighs how to maximize the talent already in place while confronting the reality of what reinforcements slip through their fingers. The balance between optimism and unfinished business hangs in the background, shaping every game day decision and every practice squad transaction moving forward. As Detroit pushes deeper into the season, the consequences of these calculated gambles will reveal themselves one snap at a time. Let's analyze everything that's been happening in Detroit in the last few hours. Before we continue, may I ask for your support? If you like what we're sharing, just take a second to hit that like button. It really helps us. Thank you. Detroit executed a targeted practice squad maneuver in advance of their nationally televised Week 11 matchup against Philadelphia, securing veteran tight end Anthony Firkser and parting ways with offensive lineman Jack Conley. The organization finalized Firkser's signing on Tuesday, injecting additional season depth into a position the franchise evidently sought to strengthen. Conley's departure from the practice unit occurred simultaneously as the corresponding roster transaction. Firkser's connection to Detroit stretches back to 2023 when he logged time with the club across 2 game day elevations while primarily residing on the practice roster. That season yielded no conventional statistical output during regular season action. He participated in just 2 offensive snaps and contributed to 22 special teams plays. His sole meaningful moment came during the playoffs, an 8-yard reception in Detroit's 2023 NFC Championship game, recorded during the franchise's heart-raking defeat to San Francisco. Through the current campaign, Firkser accumulated game appearances across 7 contests with 2 different organizations, 4 outings with the New York Jets, followed by 3 with the Kansas City Chiefs. Entering the league in 2018, Firkser has worn uniforms for 5 separate franchises. A 4-year tenure with Tennessee preceded shorter stays in Atlanta, Detroit, New York, and Kansas City. His professional ledger reflects 115 catches for 1,207 yards and 5 touchdowns following a collegiate stint at Harvard. Adaptability has characterized Firkser's NFL trajectory. He is lined up both at tight end and in traditional fullback alignments. This multi-position capability positions him as a potentially valuable, flexible resource should Detroit elevate him to the active game day roster. The Lions' emphasis on tight end reinforcement surfaced during recent tryout sessions. Both Firkser and rookie Thomas, participated in auditions before the team settled on Firkser. Gordon, an undrafted prospect from the 2025 draft class, spent his preseason training period with Chicago. Conley's removal followed his addition to the practice squad 7 days ago, a move made amid a wave of offensive line injuries sustained after the Minnesota contest. In the end, only Christian Mahogany's injury proved severe enough to warrant injured reserve placement. This transaction represents Detroit's 2nd consecutive practice squad activity. Defensive end Ahmed Hassanain rejoined the roster on Monday. Hassanain's International Player Pathways designation exempts him from counting against the standard 16-player practice squad capacity. These personnel moves arrive as Detroit recaptured the NFC North lead following Green Bay's Monday night defeat to the Eagles. With Philadelphia entering Sunday's Detroit matchup carrying a 7-2 record, a Lions triumph would balance both teams at 7-3 while providing crucial postseason positioning leverage. While Detroit fine-tunes their depth chart, another intriguing name has surfaced as a potential solution on the offensive line. Even as offensive line setbacks mounted, the Lions surged back to claim the NFC North summit after delivering a commanding performance against Washington. Though Detroit refrained from deadline day moves, analysts continue pointing toward cost-effective veteran alternatives capable of reinforcing depth along the interior. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox spotlighted Cody Whitehair as a sensible, minimal-risk target for franchises seeking experienced interior line reinforcement, describing him as an intriguing option for organizations requiring positional flexibility across the line. Knox emphasized Whitehair's extensive resume and his ability to operate at both center and guard, attributes attractive to clubs pursuing reinforcements across interior positions. The 33-year-old has never been a top-tier starter, but he did make the Pro Bowl in 2018 and has a ton of experience, Knox noted. Whitehair has 121 starts on his resume and has played both center and guard during his career. That positional versatility could earn him looks from multiple teams. Knox identified the Lions as a logical destination given Detroit's recent personnel shifts. Frank Ragnow's off-season retirement from the center position and Christian Mahogany's injured reserve placement have generated concrete needs along the interior. While Detroit's offense has experienced uneven stretches, particularly visible during the team's 3 losses, the franchise has consistently rebounded from defeats rather than spiral into extended slumps, avoiding consecutive losses for nearly 3 years running. That characteristic toughness emerged Sunday when the Lions dismantled an undermanned Washington side 44-22 to recover from the previous week's stumble against Minnesota. Detroit amassed 546 total yards, generated 30 first downs, and protected the football throughout the route. Head coach Dan Campbell reclaimed play-calling responsibilities after a fragmented effort versus the Vikings and orchestrated an opening stretch that yielded points on the team's initial 8 possessions. Wide receiver Jameson Williams, who recorded 6 receptions for 119 yards, commended Dan's game management while playfully noting the coach's eyewear during play-calling duties. "Shout out to Dan and how he controlled the game," Williams remarked via the Athletic Press. "It was kind of funny seeing him with the glasses. It's a different look for sure." Campbell characterized the adjustment as a straightforward effort to alter the routine. "It was just, let's try something a little different. Maybe a different play caller can get us a little more rhythm," Campbell explained. With the dominant Washington performance and Detroit's Bears Monday night setback, Lions vaulted back atop the NFC North standings. The Lions pursue a 3rd consecutive divisional title while remaining in the hunt for the conference's #1 overall seed, which the franchise achieved for the first time in 2024.
Speaking of missed opportunities, the trade deadline brought its share of what-ifs, and one name looms larger than the rest. Across recent seasons, the Detroit Lions evolved from a franchise in transition into a genuine championship threat. Dan Campbell's squad converted a once vulnerable defense into one of the NFC's most imposing and disciplined units. Yet even amid that transformation, one conspicuous gap persisted: a reliable complementary threat opposite elite edge defender Aidan Hutchinson. According to insider speculation that circulated before the November 4th trade deadline, Detroit explored filling that void through a bold maneuver that ultimately never came to fruition. Crosby emerged as deadline dream scenario. Detroit Free Press correspondent Christian Romo examined potential trade possibilities in the lead-up to the deadline, identifying Las Vegas Raiders defensive standout Maxx Crosby as a long-shot candidate worth monitoring. Romo referenced Bleacher Report's Mo Moton, who theorized that the Lions might pursue a franchise-altering acquisition of Crosby by offering a substantial package, possibly 2 first-round selections, to Las Vegas. Though Romo conceded such a transaction remained unlikely, he observed that the current NFL landscape has already demonstrated that few scenarios are truly impossible. Quote, "It's unclear if the Lions would be willing to give up that much for Crosby, or even if the Raiders would be willing to part with Crosby in the first place. But with edge rusher Micah Parsons having already moved from the Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers before the season began, anything seems possible." End quote. The reference to Parsons' surprising relocation underscored the unpredictable character of contemporary NFL transactions, and the increasing readiness of contending teams to mortgage future draft capital for elite defensive difference-makers. All indications suggested Las Vegas harbored zero interest in parting with Crosby before the deadline passed. Fox Sports insider Jay Glazer disclosed that Dallas attempted to acquire Crosby from the Raiders and received an immediate rejection. Quote, "Dallas is trying. They've actually called around. They called the Raiders for Maxx Crosby, was told no. They called the Bengals for Trey Hendrickson, was told no. They're calling around for help on defense." End quote. That refusal may have originated not solely from Raiders management. NFL.com's Grant Gordon indicated Crosby himself expressed no desire to depart the organization, with both parties reaffirming their mutual commitment during a meeting held before the deadline. Quote, "Though the Las Vegas Raiders are mired in last place in the AFC West with just 2 wins through 7 weeks, defensive end Maxx Crosby isn't looking to move on, and neither is the franchise." The Raiders and Crosby met Tuesday, with the team conveying it was not shopping him, nor would it trade him, NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero and NFL Network's Jane Slater reported. Crosby has no desire to be traded either, end quote. How the Raiders softened their position, Detroit's front office possessed other potential pathways to explore before the deadline closed. The Lions were persistently linked to Cincinnati Bengals edge rusher Trey Hendrickson, though Cincinnati reportedly rebuffed trade inquiries for its own defensive cornerstone. Another conceivable trade partner could have been the Miami Dolphins, who might have considered moving veteran pass rushers Jalen Phillips or Bradley Chubb amid a disappointing season. Despite securing their second victory of the campaign on Sunday, Miami had tumbled from playoff contention and could have sought draft compensation in exchange for established talent. For Detroit, the calculus was straightforward. Capitalize on this championship opportunity while Hutchinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Amon-Ra St. Brown remain on cost-controlled rookie contracts. Whether the target was Crosby, Hendrickson, or another veteran pass rusher, the Lions clearly explored every conceivable upgrade before the November 4th deadline expired. Now with that window closed, the franchise must proceed with the roster it has assembled, leaving questions about what might have been had one of these blockbuster pursuits materialized into reality. Do you think the Lions made a mistake by not going all in for Maxx Crosby before the trade deadline? Would pairing him with Aidan Hutchinson have been worth sacrificing 2 first-round picks, or was it too steep a price for Detroit's future? Should the Lions have pushed harder for Trey Hendrickson or explored other edge rushers like Jalen Phillips or Bradley Chubb? Was standing pat the right move, or did Detroit miss a golden opportunity to solidify their Super Bowl chances? Drop your opinion in the comments. We want to know if you're satisfied with the current roster, or if you're left wondering what could have been. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Join the community for exclusive daily content. We're here to keep you updated with everything going on in Detroit. See you next time.